Check, check, check. Is this thing on? Why, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Funny to see you here. I thought that right now you'd be having your daily upload from your media sources that are not and is not interpreting the news with John. I'm glad I got you here, and I hope you share it, because we have a lot of eyes to open. They're very crusty, they've been asleep, and it's time to wake up. So rub your eyes, everybody, get those juices flowing in the brains, because we can no longer stay asleep when I have the smelling salts and I'm putting them under your nose. It's the body's reaction. At first it may be uncomfortable. You might feel the sensation like, how can this be true? This person doesn't know what they're talking about. But slowly you'll say, 2 plus 2 does equal 4. Why did I think that it didn't? And then before you know it, you'll go, oh my God, I remember back in like 2005 when I remembered how to think. It's been so long. And then, and only then, will we be ready and everybody will be on the same page. So, shut down your mainstream media, share this feed, and be prepared. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, what are we going to start with today? Well, this world has been giving us material on and on and on since years ago, honestly, and most of it you don't know, even though it's relevant to the hypocrisy of today. And I keep going back down that rabbit hole because if we don't learn from our history, we cannot possibly navigate the future and we cannot deal with the present because we'll have a whole entire different list of realities that we're dealing with that are manufactured. And how can you do the right thing at that point? So, let's start. What will our first topic be? Anyone in the comments? I see there's a bunny in the house, so share this feed. Are you ready? Of course. The first one, I did not resize. I have most of them resized today, ladies and gentlemen, which is very, very good. All right, here we go. Remember when AOC held a protest inside Nancy Pelosi's office 3 years ago? 51 people were arrested. Why wasn't she? From the great DC Drano. All right, and there's a picture from it. You might not remember this because back then there was a lot of people that said they're throwing a tantrum with this. They're having this big sit-in at Nancy Pelosi's office. And this was like, I believe, AOC's first day in the House. But here it is. A lot of people were arrested. There wasn't violence. There was mass singing. But it was an illegal gathering and nobody left. And people, 51, were arrested. It was okay for that, of course. And when they say, why wasn't she orchestrated the march and the sit-in. How did that happen? Well, she put her efforts in, and AOC got it done. AOC is a lightning rod, and in this case, she got 51 people who were very, very young arrested for, again, blockading Nancy Pelosi's office. The mainstream media didn't really talk about it, and when they did, it was held high. Again, I do congratulate nobody on violence because violence is never accepted. Not on my show and not by the people I know. Again, the people that accept violence are, we learned this yesterday, extremists. No good. Okay, so what else would I possibly have for you? So all the protesters outside Nancy Pelosi's office have been arrested. The singing has stopped. All right. And now we have this.
Will you condemn Antifa for the attack in Washington?
We'll be making statements.
It's easy to condemn a terrorist attack. Will you be condemning Antifa?
We'll be making statements.
They firebombed an American facility. Will you condemn them?
Excuse us, we have to get to the meeting.
Will you be condemning them? Do you feel like you have some responsibility in the attack with your rhetoric about concentration camps? Are you responsible? Do you feel ashamed?
All right. So what you saw there was after the ICE detention center was firebombed by a self-proclaimed Antifa member, and of course, without getting the accolades, Antifa said, this is what happens when, I think I have cat hair in my eyeball. This is what happens when we fight back against these fascist camps and all of the bad things that were said about the ICE detention centers. If the guy was not shot to death and successfully set the place on fire, as he was actively attacking and trying to do, if the whole place went up, they estimated 1,400 lives would be at risk, 1,300 of which were detained illegal immigrants at the time. So one would say if you're trying to fight the fascism and these camps that are set up, it would not be by trying to kill everybody in said camp and the employees. This man was arrested not too long before that, a few months, protesting at the same detention center, where he attacked a cop who was arresting a 17-year-old protester. At the time, he had a baton, a collapsible baton in his pocket, and a knife. So he has a history of standing for the protest against the ICE detention centers, and he has a history of being arrested. Had a history. So as he was trying to basically kill 1,400 people, or do his damn best to, he was taken out, and everybody was saved, as far as my recollection. You can look up this story because it's real. So in that video, they were asking AOC if her endless attempts to boil people's blood with how she described these detention centers aided to inciting violence. And she wouldn't even leave a comment. And now, mind you, you remember the pictures that were released with her lightning rod attacks on these ICE detention centers were not vetted properly. Because, again, the ones that accompanied the articles that AOC was basically the main focus of were from Barack Obama and Joe Biden's administration. So at that point, what we were seeing was pictures taken in 2014 and being credited to Trump. Again, it's all wrong. They should not be separated from their children. Parents should not be separated from their children. Children shouldn't be without their parents. That's awful. And again, I call BS when I see BS. And Trump did nothing to fix it. And Obama did have it under his tenure. And they both failed miserably at that. Again, getting people that are crossing the border illegally and figuring out a process is paramount. And just because we have not fixed it yet does not mean there's a free pass. So, there's still food for thought there. All right? Let's continue on. This one was a gem that I saw today. The quote was AOC claiming that we came close to half of the House nearly dying during the Capitol riot, and not a member of Congress was hurt. Again, this has nothing to do with supporting it. I don't. Widely denounced since day one. Go check it out. I did a news report that night. However, AOC is stoking the fires of division. This is not about true or false at this point. It's about how we can herd the sheep into where we want them to believe. And, of course, there was definitely a risk and an extreme danger when you had people that did not follow the law, even remotely, breaking in. We get that. However, something along these lines, it should have said, we could have had a situation where bad things occurred. That's a real statement. Saying we came close to half the House nearly dying is to, again, further a division. And again, this specific topic has been widely condemned by both sides. So, why is it being said that way? Is it misspoken? I don't know. But, we're going to get into a little fun topic here. Are you ready for some race baiting? Well, I hope you are. Here we
Kristen
go.
Clark is Joe Biden's pick to run the Justice Department.
Before I let this go, I'm just going to let you know, I'm going to let Tucker explain some stuff to you right now. This was from last night's Tucker Carlson. It's phenomenal. It's really disturbing, and it shows just how wayward we've become to the path of actually having civil rights and treating one another equally. Here you go.
Kristen Clark is Joe Biden's pick to run the Justice Department's enormously powerful Civil Rights Division. Clark says her job is simple. It's to end hate. But like so many in her world, Clark is in fact an enthusiastic purveyor of what she claims to fight. Clark's been on this show several times. The new investigation, though, by our reporters has uncovered shocking, and we don't use that word lightly, legitimately shocking statements that Clark made in public while at Harvard. In 1994, Clark wrote a letter to the Harvard Crimson in her capacity as the president of the Black Studies Association. Clark wanted to explain her views on race science. Quote, "Please use the following theories and observations to assist you in your search for truth regarding the genetic differences between blacks and whites." End quotes. You know it's going to be interesting, and it was. Quote, 1. Dr. Richard King reveals that at the core of the human brain is the locus coeruleus, which is a structure that is black because it contains large amounts of neuromelanin, which is essential for its operation. 2. Black infants sit, crawl, and walk sooner than whites. 3. Carol Barnes notes that human mental processes are controlled by melanin, that same chemical which gives blacks their superior physical and mental abilities. 4. Some scientists have revealed that most whites are unable to produce melanin because their pineal glands are often calcified or non-functioning. Pineal calcification rates with Africans are 5 to 15%, Asians 15 to 25%, and Europeans 60 to 80%. This is the chemical basis for the cultural differences between blacks and whites. And 5. Melanin endows blacks with greater mental, physical, and spiritual abilities, something which cannot be measured based on Eurocentric standards. End quote. Let that sink in. Melanin endows black people with greater mental, physical, and spiritual abilities. No, that's not an editorial from the Final Call, Louis Farrakhan's free newspaper. That is a direct quote from the person Joe Biden is about to put in charge of this country's civil rights laws.
What in the world did we just watch? Is anybody going to state the obvious from the Democrat side, from the Republican side, from the independent side, that this woman is saying wildly racist things, has a wildly racist view, and it's not going to promote any healing or any civil liberties or any living as one as we're supposed to? She made an entire list while she was in Harvard about why white people and every other race is less than qualified to be a human compared to black people, when we're all humans and we're all supposed to love one another. I don't even know how this person got picked, and I get there's a lot of radical stuff going on that, to me, is mind-boggling still, but is there no cool heads that can prevail and say, what in the world is going on? Because it's hard to even vocalize what I just saw and the fact that it's 2021. And again, most people never saw that. Yet, it exists and it's real, which is problematic because we can't see what's actually happening and the division and what we should know to help form our opinions. Instead, that is happening. The upload, the mass upload of what they want us to know. But again, 2 + 2 = 4. I already know it. You can't teach me otherwise, because I already went to school and learned it. And I can prove it. I don't need numbers, I need objects. 1, 2, 3, ginormous water bottle. 4, 2 + 2, that's a fidget spinner, equals 4. Okay, I'm glad we're getting somewhere. So shut the upload because you need to wake up. Here's another clip. Be prepared.
There are people in our country led by this president, for the moment, who have chosen their whiteness over democracy. So we know that on January 6th, when that assault was taking place on the Capitol, 3,865 people in our country died of the coronavirus. Many of them people of color because of the injustice of it all. The next day, on Thursday, 4,000 people died of the coronavirus. Why? Because decisions were made at the highest level months before in the Oval Office of denial, distortion, delay, calling it a hoax. This president is responsible for many of those deaths.
Okay, in that clip, it even came with subtitles. Where should I start? If you guys want to chat about it in the comments, I eventually will read this. Maybe even while playing another clip. As you saw, I just commented in there myself. There was a statement made that many people chose their whiteness. Okay, let's watch just the beginning of that again, because I want to break that part down specifically. As long as it plays again, we will watch it again. Just that
There are
part.
people in our country led by this president, for the moment, who have chosen their whiteness.
Chosen whiteness
democracy.
over democracy. Whiteness over democracy. Can somebody tell me what in God's green earth that even means? So, if somebody who's black votes for Donald Trump, and as we saw, there was a lot more black people that voted for Donald Trump this time around than in 2016, did they choose their whiteness over democracy? I'm a little confused. What about Asian people? What about Indian people? Did they choose? What? And then, if you watch, this is how you know you're being sold, okay? I need this up because you need to start breaking it down factually. How do you know you're being sold? Well, I'm going to tell you. When she says all of that hogwash nonsense and then goes into the coronavirus killing people, the coronavirus has been killing people. It's awful, and it's been happening, and there's waves of it, and we're trying like hell to fight it, right? How does that tie into whiteness? And maybe it was sprinkle a little whiteness and then deceive you, flip the whole entire topic around and throw coronavirus in it. And of course she had to say, which is disproportionately killing black people because it's a racist virus. But we see, yes, it is. It has killed more black people. Statistically, the last time I actually checked the stats. It might be that we're going to find out it's genetic based. There's a whole million reasons why, but there's one thing that it's not. It's not like it was given to black people to kill black people because it's killing everybody. It might be certain living conditions. It could be happening to... There's a million different reasons. But we needed to tie this all in, race bait it in any way we can, and sprinkle corona on top to enhance the hysteria and the mind-blinding fog that has been induced by endless bombardment. Okay. We're getting there. Let's make sure I don't miss a clip here.
Yeah.
Well, we were ready to watch that clip. Let's not do that again. We've seen enough of that. Okay, here we go.
That's what we're trying to do today, is to say everything is fine here. Come, because precautions have been taken. The city is on top of the situation.
The speaker was greeted by shop owners with open arms.
I love it. I love it, Nancy. I love it. I'm so glad you came. So you make my store famous.
She visited a wok shop, a temple, and a Chinatown icon, the Golden Gate Fortune Cookie Factory, started 58 years ago by owner Kevin Chan's mother and uncle. Chan told me his business has been decimated.
I went down 70%.
Chan believes the fear of the virus is racially motivated.
I think it is. Because even when I walk out, I cough a little bit, my throat is itchy. They look at me, oh, like this. Scary.
As Pelosi walked from the cookie factory to lunch at a dim sum restaurant, she hugged friends, waved to onlookers, and downplayed the racism issue, saying she understands people are concerned about China.
But that shouldn't be carried over to Chinatown and San Francisco. I hope that it's not that, but all I can say is I'm here. We feel safe and sound, so many of us coming here.
So just a month before, that was just a month before we started to go into basically a full global lockdown. That was after the borders to China were shut on January 31st by Trump, a move in which everybody said was done for xenophobic reasons. The cat has arrived, everybody. Make way. The cat has entered the building. Try not to knock the microphone over. So right after this happened, right, they lambasted the man. They said Trump's doing this because he's a xenophobe. He hates the Chinese. And everybody was going and attacking him. Biden was tweeting about him, depending on who you ask. We're going to get to that. But it was the end of the world as we know it due to xenophobia and hatred and racism. So Nancy went to San Francisco, Chinatown, and decided to have a little chat with everybody and say that this is, look at this cat. She's a beautiful El Gata. And she said, you know, I'm here to help stimulate the economy. But again, everybody was starting to worry, and they said it was due to xenophobia. So let's go and see. Did that happen? Bah! Oh, Lord. I'm sorry. I must have talked out of place because PolitiFact says, speaking of his restriction on travel from China, quote, I had, and this was Trump saying, I had Biden calling me xenophobic. He called me racist because of the fact he felt it was a racist thing to stop people from China coming in. China. Okay? Scratching of the nose. Good. And it says mostly false. We had this conversation yesterday about mostly false. I looked, and what came up when I Googled this was several articles about fact-checking. I think Reuters was on there, so PolitiFact, right? And I was like, can I just get the actual tweet where he said it? Because I can't find it in the search, so I had to go to Google Images to actually get it because shadow ban. So what did he actually say? Well, there's two variations of it to be truthful about. Here's first one. Stop the xenophobic fear-mongering. Be honest. Wait, come on, man. Stop the xenophobic fear-mongering. Be honest. Take responsibility. Do your job. So that was in response to, I always treated the Chinese virus very seriously and have done a very good job from the beginning, including my very early decision to close the borders from China against the wishes of almost all. Many lives were saved. The fake news narrative is disgraceful and false. Well, why would he think that that's false? Oh, wait, I know why. Because if you look at the PolitiFact and all the fact checkers, that tweet never happened. It's only mostly false, kind of true-ish, kind of sort of, I think. Because fact-checking has become opinion piece smear jobs. So maybe they were saying, okay, it was about another tweet. Well, what's the other tweet read? Okay, so this one's from February 1st. We're in the midst of a crisis with the coronavirus. We need to lead the way with science, not Donald Trump's record of hysteria, xenophobia, and fear-mongering. He is the worst possible person to lead our country through a global health emergency. So, he's actually completely saying that Donald Trump is doing this as a form of xenophobia. It's right there. Did you miss it? Let's look at it again. Oh, maybe you missed the other one. There it is again. Matter of fact, both of them say xenophobia or xenophobic in reference to the virus and to Trump. So where was it mostly false, PolitiFact? Was it mostly false in imagination? Imagination land? Or in what reality? Tell me. I'd love to know. Hold on. The camera will be back. It's back. So, that right there, my friends, is extremely, extremely problematic. Again, fact-checking is leading the people to go, actually, what you said is wrong. PolitiFact told me. I know that you're going to get a little crazy, but if I told you that this was ongoing still, would you believe me? Because social media is in the mix there, too. Look at the upload. You're living this upload. If this isn't the Matrix, it should be, because people are playing Matrix-like games with your brain. Okay, let's get into some fun stuff. I don't know who knows about, I'm sure a lot of people do, and specifically if you're watching this program, about Project Veritas. So, we're going to do that real quick. Hold on. Oh, wait, let's make sure. Yeah, okay, we're up to Project Veritas. So, Project Veritas is ran by James O'Keefe, and it is a online program that is basically a whistleblower. They give you cameras, they take any information you have, and they compile it and put it on the line. Just don't think about it. A little editing on the line. And they find some dirt. Dirt that, of course, the mainstream media won't tell you because they got dirt on CNN. And CNN threatened to sue and said that they broke all the laws, even though CNN did the same thing to Melania Trump. Goes on. Because what's good for me is not good for you. It's basically like socialism's good for the socialist. It's good for the people, but not the socialist. You get it. It's backwards land, and we're inverted and inside out and the upside down, and everyone's waiting for 11 to start throwing the Demigorgon around. Okay, so let's watch something from Project Veritas. Bam!
Anyone Biden wins, you go through all the Republican voters, and Homeland Security will take the children away. How about that? And we'll put them into re-education camps.
Amen.
In these times, which are unique. It's close to him.
What are we going to do if we don't like it? It doesn't
Go to the White House and throw Molotov cocktails. These kids who are growing up knowing nothing but Trump, for 4 years, you gotta wonder what they're going to be like. Are we raising a generation of intolerant, horrible people, horrible kids? Enlightenment camps.
Right.
They're nice. They have Sesame Street characters in the classroom, and they watch PBS all day.
I'm going to go home and watch it.
Dumb. Most people are dumb. It's good to live in a place where people are, educated and know stuff. And can you imagine if you lived in one of these other towns or states where everybody's just stupid? What's great is COVID is spiking in all the red states right now. So that's great.
Why do you think so?
Because either those people won't come out to vote for Trump because the red states, or a lot of them are sick and dying. PBS has real news. But CNN doesn't have real news anymore. It's just a talking head talking about Trump all day long. I can't stand it. Every once in a while I look at Fox News and it makes me want to throw up after 5 minutes. It's all this Joe Biden shit now, all the Joe Biden scandal, which is all made up. It's all ridiculous. And they are pushing them so hard. It's unbelievable.
So do you guys just ignore it?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? Did we break all of that ridiculous, hateful, disturbing bullcrap down that you just inhaled into your brain? Without Project Veritas, you wouldn't know that your taxpayer-paying money that goes to fund PBS is literally being put into a network, if you will, that has people in it that said, it's good that people are getting COVID in these red states because it means Trump supporters are dying. This, again, just follow me. All of these states where people are stupid, because if you don't think like him, you're stupid and you need to be destroyed. Oh, and even when we win, we're going to put your children into camps for re-education because we can't have conservative children. And if we don't win, we're going to Molotov cocktail the White House. Okay, are we following the derangement? This man suffers from mental illness. This is a really big problem. What else did he say? There was something that I lose my train of thought because it's so freaking disgusting. So you put all of this together and you go, if there wasn't somebody willing to tape this, this goes unchecked and unnoticed. But the problem is the people that have been uploaded too long enough, again, are entering that zone where you might, one way or the other, enter extremism on the left or the right. And these are the type of people that will push you there because they make it seem normalized to say what they say. Oh, that was what I was going to say. He said, I turn on Fox and they're pushing this Biden thing. None of it's true. And Biden went on during the debate and said, none of this is true about Hunter. It's widely disproven already. Come on, man. And he knew it was true. The FBI is already investigating, and everyone that watched Fox News already knew. And now everyone knows. and everyone's letting it slide. It's like it didn't happen. Again, there's a lot of investigating, and we will find out how corrupt politicians and politics are, even going more into the future. We already know that they're corrupt, but we're going to find out if they actually see it through and what comes of it. Because, again, more and more they keep saying there's stuff on that laptop that's pretty damning, but we already saw some damning things. The crack pipes, the hookers, all of the money, the links to it. So if it goes back to Biden, that will be the way to shoe in, of course, the VP becoming the president, which I think is the main goal, whether he made it to 4 years or not, or the 25th Amendment that gets thrown around a lot these days. There's a lot of different avenues to getting Biden out of the way. Let's see how the Democrats go about it. I don't think that he's going to stay for the full term, and I think he might be impeached. At this rate, we impeach everybody. It's like Tic Tacs. Oh wait, only if you have control of the House. All right, but there's more Project Veritas. You ready for more corruption? Oh boy, I am. I love watching corruption. Here we go. Wait, there's more Project Veritas after this message. They fired that guy. PBS filed Michael Beller, a mid-level staff attorney. He was actually high up there. He was filmed by Project Veritas calling for the children of Trump supporters to be put into re-education camps. And then, finally, somebody actually answered Project Veritas, like legit answered them. And here we are. The employee no longer is for PBS as a mid-level staff attorney. He was principal counsel, but anyway, he did not speak on behalf of our organization, nor did he make any editorial decisions. There is no place for hateful rhetoric at PBS. I'm glad you said that. I hope it's not just virtue sending. And this individual's views in no way reflect our values or opinions. We strongly condemn violence, good, and everybody needs to now, more than ever, even if it was in question. And will continue to do what we have done for 50 years, use our national platform and local presence to strengthen communities and bring people together. End quote. All right. Well, now back to our regular scheduled uncovering of very disturbing corruption.
We're sitting here, and right now, we're sitting here 2 years after we founded our revolution in Weld County. Joe Biden is presumably left-wing, and he's got a functioning signing hand. I'm not just the chair of that organization. I'm also a member of the Weld County Democratic Party Executive Committee. I am confident we can occupy his house. I'm also a member of the Colorado Democratic Party's Congressional District 4 Committee. I will lie, I will cheat, I will steal, because that's morally acceptable in this political environment. I'm also part of the Colorado Democratic Party Executive Committee, Central Committee. I'm part of dozens and dozens of other committees, and I'm not just talking about me, because this isn't about me. This is about us. And I got dozens of my friends that went along with me. You really want to change this country that way with violence? There's only one way to do it. We now have a comfortable majority on the Weld County Democratic Party. 12 of our 14 members that go to state Democratic Party for Colorado are our revolution members. It's going to take a strategic hit against the 0.1% that's in charge, because that's who it is. It's killing random Nazis in the street, random bootlickers. Almost an entire delegation to the CD4 committees are revolution members. We now have a second vice chair, our first member of leadership through a vacancy committee. We have an R revolution member in leadership on the Weld County Democratic Party. That's 2 years of transformation. Guillotines, motherfucker. That's all I gotta say.
Ladies and gentlemen, the cat's back meowing if you heard. She will not take no for an answer. I could pet her like an evil genius. Go on. You're staying? Okay, she's staying on the lap. So, what you just saw there is extremely, extremely disturbing. And there's two options that I believe are occurring. People truly believe what they're saying, and they think that this is the end of the world, so it's by all means necessary. Those people are sick. They've been fed lies long enough to believe the lies. And then the other one is they're just saying it, but they're really violent people and they just don't care how they go about ending the U.S. as we know it. This person was involved with the whole Democratic Party in Colorado. I wonder if he still tweets, as he was talking about killing random Nazis on the street. However, the term Nazi is now actually another word for conservatives. And it's been used over and over again, drilling home this new idea and thought process. And it's backed up by all forms of media with the upload. Okay? This is a very big problem, and the left does not take ownership of it on their stations. They don't talk about it because it doesn't exist, because it doesn't fit their narrative. But what's happening is helping push what is believed to be their socialist utopia dream. But if you're going to try to litigate in socialism, you cannot do it with violence. And it's not going to work out at all, but you can't. And even if it worked out, we would just go bankrupt and turn to crap like every other socialist country. However, this is hypocritical, and it's enhancing the disdain among both sides. And again, it's the extremists. One here, one here. And again, 75% of the people on both sides, maybe even more, it might be 80 to 85% on both the Democrat and Republican, and anyone that falls in between, would not stand for this. And it would piss them off beyond belief if they were allowed to know. But you watched it here on my program. Maybe you should share this with somebody that needs to know these things. Because if they're watching CNN or their local ABC News, they don't know these things. They're not allowed to. Thus, they can't render a true decision on anything that's going on. It's an echo chamber. They live inside of an echo chamber. And then they come at their family, friends, and people that they meet with that exact rhetoric. And it's based on and it's driven by people who said kill random Nazis in the street, the bootlickers, meaning conservatives. Time to wake up is now. Because if we don't all take ownership for what's going on, in the end, when the bank comes collecting, we're all going to foreclose. And it's not going to be good. So, this brings me to the higher self. Let's discuss the higher self. Because everybody needs to find this. This is the problem, and this has been exacerbated with social media. How did we end up in such a state where our egos are driving us completely insane? I have it. I found this great explanation. Ego. I am a victim of circumstance is one. 2. I live in scarcity. There is never enough is 2. I am alive temporarily, and that is scary. 3. 4. I am in competition with the world. 4. And 5. It's complicated. This is a beautiful post that I found that I'm bringing to you. This, let's say, is a public awakening re-education moment. You don't have to go to camp and you don't have to be detained to learn. Matter of fact, this freedom is free. And most freedom is not free, as we know. So, when we have social media, we feel like when we see everybody else having a great time, we're the victim of circumstance. We're not having that great time. How do we find ourselves here? It's the circumstances that I'm in that do not allow me to do this. However, the people that are doing that are framing their lives. They might be very happy people, but they're framing it. Not everybody's as crazy as me and just throws it on the line. Sometimes you just take the picture in the video and you look stupid and you throw it on the line. Hey, you want to hear something fun? Because I honestly don't care about how people view me. Here's a fun one. When I blink, my left eye blinks more than my right eye. If you put this in slow motion and pause it, you'll see one of these eyes, and I believe it's my left eye, closes a little bit before my right eye. And I think I look stupid. But I don't care that I look stupid because I don't actually take the time to really look at myself in the mirror. If I did, I'd probably fix this beard up and my hair would be in a nicer shape and I wouldn't be wearing pajamas that are covered in cat hair right now while I'm broadcasting to the whole damn world. But you see, Mr. Sikoria told me in the 6th grade that I am a leader. And the reason I'm a leader is I don't buy into the noise. I see past the noise, and he used to call me Mahatma, as in Gandhi. See past the noise, ladies and gentlemen. If you can't deal with social media, I implore you to get off of it, because it's not only is it so toxic for the human ego, it's now just a political tool, just like the nighttime comedy shows, just like the TV shows. It's all some sort of big metaphor that leads to the big picture that they want you to see in the way they want you to see it. Because Hollywood's behind it, we know that. And the few people in Hollywood that aren't part of the team, they're not very well liked these days. Okay, you live in scarcity, there is never enough. However, what exactly does one need? We're going to get to that with the higher self, which I'm sure you've already read. I am alive temporarily, and that's scary. Hey, newsflash! The news doesn't want you to know this because they want you to be really scared. And if you stay inside for the rest of your life, you will just die, and it won't be of COVID. And you know what I look at life like? I look at life like a Christmas tree. You ready for this? A Christmas tree is just a tree until you put ornaments and lights on it. And when you do that, it livens up and it becomes something special. That's what memories are. That's what meeting people is, and that's what having experiences are. It's the star on top, the lights, the whole thing. It's the gift of life wrapped up nicely underneath said tree. However, people don't realize that. And they get caught in, if you do this, this is the end, and all of this anxiety. Yeah, there's a big, big influx of anxiety. You want to know why? Because our little brains are being bombarded with an entire world of information that never existed when we were just little old humans without internet and computers. Our brains are not meant for this. Our social circles, if you're not ready to thrive in it, can absolutely wither the tree. Again, I thrive in it because if somebody tells me I'm ugly, I don't even care. I don't care. If they think that their life's better than mine, maybe it is. I don't care because I'm living my best life and I'm enjoying it. You should too. Because it's not that complicated, which is the bottom one, and you don't have to be in competition with the world. It doesn't make sense. What do you win at the end? A grave 6 feet under? Oh, maybe not. You might just very well go to the urn and get cremated. Higher self. I create my own reality. Hi, I create my own reality. I made myself a TV show overnight. Turned the whole place to a studio, because I don't care. I live in abundance. There's always enough. Can't be truer. Whatever I have is more than enough, because I have it. I'm alive. And there it is, I'm alive temporarily, and that's awesome. Because I have a moment to do wonderful things. A moment that if I wasn't here, I could never do. I'm in harmony with the world because the world is literally an ebb and flow. Bad things happen, good things happen. But in the end, it brings you to where you are in the given moment. And the bad things that are coming in the future and the good things will lead you to the next time you go, hey, I'm going to reflect. I'm in a good place. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how you get to the bottom. I am happy. We need to start working on being happy instead of miserable. We need to stop the division. And this is the first step, is to wake up, stop the division, understand there's differences, and lower the anxieties. And if you can't get out of the programming that's happening, just exit it. Exit the matrix. Red pill yourself, or blue pill, whatever the hell pill it is. Just get the hell off the matrix. That was a public service announcement more than news. Take it, it's yours. Next up, everybody, is, bam, social media hate. Speaking of social media, here's some hate. Today, Scott Libido posted from Staten Isla. Staten Isla. Hey, I started a petition against Scott Libido's art. I think he meant to say on the island, but in the island. This is my first time doing it, and I was hoping you could share. And there's a picture of Scott painting the American flag. What in the world is wrong with you? Do you just hate the flag, or do you just hate Scott? Or maybe you just hate Scott and the flag. Scott painting the American flag hurts you? Maybe you'd say I want to petition his artwork of Nancy Pelosi because his parody is very bullying. But you know what? That's not really painted on any buildings. It's sold in his art gallery and on his online site. So stop being so angry with life and hating people. There's another step to getting better. But wait, there's more! Here we go. I took this person's name out to be nice. This person needs a serious talking to. This person suffers from extreme hate and mental illness. I'm going to read it, and I'm going to read it in the voice I assume he wrote it in. For comical relief and for fun. Almost ASMR. Hello, America. How you doing? Tough week for you, me, and yes, them as well. But them are going to jail. If they are lucky, personally, I'd like to see those asshats sent to Guantanamo and forgotten about. Maybe be forgotten about. Learn how to talk. Yep, I said it. Fuck them. Let them dehydrate to death. Who am I talking about? Oh, you don't know? The answer is simple. Everyone who voted for Trump. Whether you were at the Capitol or not, you are a useless group, and are all to blame. You are bitter, angry, and yet entitled group of crackers that think your life is hard. Yes, this man's white, just to specify. He looks like the average Williamsburg hipster. Yes, all of it. Totally could dye his hair purple, and then he could join Antifa. Continuing. Where is it? Think your life is hard? How hard is your life? What has the government taken from you? Not your gun? Not your freedom of speech? It didn't take away your right to vote, which, by the way, your candidate lost. But for some odd reason, you're a pest. Let me tell you, from one entitled American to another, you have no reason to be pest. We have nothing to worry about. We're white. There you go. He specified it for you. I didn't have to tell you. So shut up. Put on your mask and kiss my ass. Oh, well, by the way, you can't kiss a ass through a mask. Ass hat. Oh, shit. I just opened a huge door. COVID. Your bitch ass whites. You bitch ass whites think your COVID is a plot from Nancy Pelosi to keep you subservient? Subservient, I'm sorry. Trying to do this in his voice. Well, and with my one eye. Well, I won't lie to you. It is. Comply and keep your neighborhood safe, you diseased animal. Are we enraged yet from the hate? Like, poor human. This guy is really sad. I almost feel bad. Oh, wait. Here we go. Let's finish it up. Okay. Now, here's something I have to say. I hate restaurants closing in my beautiful city. This is the center of food in the world. Fuck Chicago, London, France. This is the center of the culinary world. So please don't use the future impeachment to use it against the government. I don't even know what he's saying. Because your bar, restaurant, carry-out place is hurting or closing. It hurts. It's heartbreaking, and we want you back. So all I can say is if you don't like what is happening here, then run for office and try not to let it happen again. But if your bar has Bud Light on tap, do the world a favor and close anyway. So I have to go before I say something about punching Trump. Then I'll get banned from Facebook, which they have every right to do. Talk to you on inauguration. Also, if you voted for Trump, and I know who you fuckheads are, let's unfriend. Goodbye. Wow. Wow. Sir, I'm going to be nice. I mean, the first thing I would say is bad stuff, like kind of nonchalant, to maybe stimulate the thought of getting your life together and stop crying yourself to sleep, because that's a sad situation you're in. You're clearly miserable, and the anxiety you face when you open your eyes to face the day is vast and daunting. And I feel bad for you for that, because unlike you, even though I'm a conservative, I feel bad that you are living this living hell. That's all I could say. I hope the medication works, and I hope you adhere to taking it when they offer it after you go for a psychological checkup. Nothing will make you happy otherwise until you open your eyes and get out of this funk. And maybe the medication will help you get there. I'm being nice. What can I say? Some targets are just too easy. Let's see what else we have in the social media hate. Because there is, in fact, more. Oh, wait. This isn't social media hate. This is just a re-up of the knowledge that on May 16th, 2017, Nancy Pelosi said, "Our election was hijacked. There is no question Congress has a duty to hashtag protect our democracy and hashtag follow the facts." Of course, they did the whole Russia investigation, and nothing.
That was easy.
Oh, by the way, she questioned the election results. They should kick her off Twitter. All right, and this is a good one. This is a good one. And I have one before it, but I'll get to it. Twitter, public policy, verified account today tweeted, ahead of the Ugandan election, we're hearing reports that internet service providers are being ordered to block social media and messaging apps. We strongly condemn internet shutdowns. They are very harmful, violate basic human rights and principles of hashtag open internet. Come on. And DC Drano said it perfect. Uganda be kidding me. The people that are silencing endless conservatives, decimating their following, removing followers, kicking them off of Twitter, blocking the President of the United States, are now advocating for open internet and saying it's violating the basic human rights that their site is being blocked in Uganda. I'm sure they have some very, very big preferences who they'd like in there for the New World Order, but sucks to suck, Twitter, and I love that your stock has been dropping. Oh, you're so awful. You're horrible people. And come on, did anybody not look at Dorsey, the owner of Twitter? He looks like the Unabomber. Clearly has issues. Oh, went to that one. I just don't want to miss any of these. Let's see. Oh, this is a good one.
You self-absorbed piece of shit! I'm just a kid. And your mother should be teaching you better. She does teach me well. And my son is without a father because people can't wear a goddamn mask. People are still getting sick and people are still wearing masks. Right now it's a mask.
Okay, we're going to watch that one more time. And the reason we're going to watch it, I want you to take note of how badass this little girl is as the mask police have jumped on in. Again, masks are very, very point of contention these days. We all know that. And if you have social distancing and you go out of the house and you wear your mask and nobody's really coming directly in your face, you could be like, hey, there's a lot of people no masks, I'm going to see myself out. But the dictation toward people is getting out of control, and a vast majority are going to choose not to wear masks in certain places, and it's their right. Even though I predominantly wear masks in most situations, I do understand it's the right of the people to say at some point, it's not for me, I'm not going to cough at you, I generally feel well, and I'm going to take my chance, and I'll stay out of the way, and I'm not going to break your balls for wearing a mask. Those are the people that I vibe with, okay? But I want you to listen to this little girl just talk right back to this raving lunatic, because it's glorious.
You freaking bitch! You self-absorbed piece of shit! I'm just a kid. And your mother should be teaching you better. She does teach me well. And my son is without a father because people can't wear a goddamn mask. People are still getting sick and people are still wearing masks. Right now it's a mask.
Like, just so calm and collective, and was like, my mom does teach me well. I just thought it was great, because most kids that age would kind of cower to the insanely screaming, ravenous psychopath that is only out for blood of those that don't wear the mask. By the way, I had this discussion last night. The word mask enrages me. It doesn't even sound like a word. Like, you know when you hear a word so many times or you spell it and it doesn't look right? The word mask just sounds like this freaking guttural noise that's been haunting me. Just haunting me for a year. But it's been haunting all of us. But I feel like we should just change it back to just, where's your face covering? Because at least it just doesn't sound like an annoying word. All right, we're almost at the end, people. And again, I will read all the comments before I go off the camera tonight. And in the event I have something that I can answer, or that you want me to answer, put it on the line. Just write the comment on the line. Okay, this is an interview that I found hysterical, and I want you to take a second to enjoy it. Because watch how this person phrases their words and belittles this woman and thinks they're going to get away with it. I hope you enjoy this as much as I did. Hey, I said, I hope you enjoy this as much as I did.
I'm just going to put it to you finally. I know you're in Jupiter, Florida, but I think many British viewers in particular will think you are living on another very strange planet which has lost touch with right and wrong and political morality. What would you say to them?
Well, your quippy one-liners don't hurt me very much. And what I tell you is 70 plus a million Americans voted for President Trump. And those are people just like me, who have family that has served in the military, who paid for everything that we've ever earned in our life. I wasn't handed anything by anyone. And I am an American who has traveled all over the world and respects Great Britain and respects Australia and respects every corner of our world. I am the person who supports those who fight our wars and pay our taxes. So for you to call me anything less than a proper God-fearing, God-loving American who loves this country and loves our flag is shameful and disgusting.
Did you see that one? Our viewers want to know. Wait, I'm using the hipster voice, the hipster Antifa voice. Let me go out of that. Our viewers in Britain would like to know, since you basically live in another planet because you're from Florida and you're all backwards thinking. That girl ripped in to homie and said, hell no with your crap. This is why journalism is dead. All the questions are loaded. All the questions have their opinion built in, and you're answering someone's opinion as opposed to letting somebody make their opinion off of the answer. It's an installment process, and people can't get out of their own way. Like if I said, do you like the color red? I would ask you, do you like the color red? I wouldn't say, because you're a communist and all, you must love the color red because you're an evil person who loves Stalin. Am I right? And then the person that has to answer has to literally look you in the eye and be like, I feel like everybody from now on should go, I will not answer your ridiculous opinion. Please ask me a question and seek help. That should be the uniform answer from now on for these deranged journalists. All right, I've got some comments that rolled in since I said it, so let's see what we got cooking. And this is how we will end the episode. Danny, my cat sends the love to you. BT Dubs, she misses you tonight. All right. I got love this, disheartening. See past the noise. I love this. I love that you love that. See past the noise. You've gotten pinned. I've pinned you. The Power of Now by Ecotolio. Okay, unknowingly, Bella, you wrote a whole entire paragraph at me. But yes, this is all good. Taken, okay. Don't be nice, Danny. Danny, I have to be nice. Somebody that is that pathetic needs niceness in their heart, and I am good enough of a man to be that man. That's all I could say. Again, his real punishment is being himself. I don't even know what to say anymore. I know. That's why I do this, because I want people to say that, so they wake up and enough people say I don't even know what to say, so they say I ain't going to take it anymore and we need to get back to reality. Because the fringe people on both sides are ruining reality for the majority, and everyone's scared to piss off the minority of fringe people. But the fringe people are hurting the real Democrats and the real Republicans into a silenced land of stupidity. So yeah, this is how the moment comes. Everyone's gonna just turn around and look at their family member, at their cousin, at their coworker, at their best friend, at the person that they meet at a bar once Cuomo allows you to open a bar, and they're gonna say, hey dude, you're really full of hate and you're insane, and mostly everyone disagrees with you. Sucks to suck. And when enough people stand up, it's just going to stop. We've empowered a small amount of people on both sides to make them the people. What's going to happen is these people are all going to meet up one day and they're going to be like, it's a civil war. And it's going to be like a few thousand people on each side. And everyone else is going to be at home eating popcorn going, when does the real world start again? From both parties. I don't know when the real world starts again. I hope soon. Jeez. You know what they say about karma. I sure do. All the comments were vast today. Oh, they were vast. I'm trying to catch up. Tell that someone worried about another person wearing a mask. Further stay in location for long enough to contract germs, verbally assault. Exactly. The person screaming in the mask. The person screaming in the mask is creating more droplets and inhaling at a much deeper, forceful rate to take in more particles in the air. So it doesn't make any sense. The best thing you could do is just shake your head if it really upsets you and get out of Dodge. But in this world of social media, everyone thinks that their opinion is gold. And people can say the same thing about me, but my opinion's like an asshole. Everyone's got one. I'm just throwing mine on the line. Leave and save yourself by removing yourself. No one stay there. Yellow person is moron. Get him, girl. That is his name, Danny. And I have 2 mutual friends. So you're one of them. And the other one I am friends with, but I've been silenced on her posts, and I don't really deal with that because they've leaked over into madness land. I think there's such a hard line being drawn. There's no such thing as purple anyway. Yes, you're right. Everyone's galvanizing. I've said it for days. It's just disgusting. See past the noise. I love this is pinned. And with that, Christine, I'm sure I'll see you online getting breakfast in the upcoming days. Thank you for watching the show and enjoying it. Everybody, share this feed. I will be back. I always come back. I am like Arnold, but the real conservative Arnold before he became a soft wannabe conservative rhino. So everybody, share it, put it on the line, put it in your stories, send the link to friends and family. One day, I would like to log on and have a few thousand people, and those people can help spread the message. The message needs to be heard. It's time to wake up. I'm John, and I, like you, am the news. With social media, while we have a voice, we are the news. So share this, and may the odds forever be in your favor. See you tomorrow, everybody.